Hey everyone, this is Sean Garrett, founding attorney of Garrett PLLC, founder of the Legal Eagle podcast. As you know, my goal with this podcast isn't to brain dump complex business law and tax concepts, but instead to highlight some of the entrepreneurs and business leaders in the communities that I serve. I'm licensed to practice law in North Carolina, South Carolina, Illinois, and Missouri. So many of the stories and people that you're going to be hearing from and meeting will be coming from Charlotte, Greenville, Chicago, and St. Louis. Today, we have Ryan Apt with Extensis HR. Ryan, thanks for being on the podcast.
And Sean, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. Of all the people I know in Charlotte, you are top 5% networker. I see you everywhere. How did that get started? How did you start networking?
I mean, obviously you can see the Oklahoma stuff behind me. I'm not, like everybody else in Charlotte, I'm not from here. So when I got here, I had to go meet people. My wife and I moved out here 9 years ago, and we didn't know anybody. So, we were like, what's the best way to get out and meet people? And that was through networking. And when I first started, I was in the outsourced IT world, and working with small, mid-sized businesses that way. So that's how I got out and started networking and just meeting as many people as I could. And so with that, it's kind of progressed, and I feel like I've been out in the networking world for a while now. But there's still people I don't know, and I meet new people all the time, so it's still fun.
Yeah, good point. One of the things that drew me to you when we were out and about was how transparent and honest you are. I think honesty in networking is hard to find. You know that. There are so many people that are selling. We're all selling ourselves, but we sell in different ways. Either we are masking some of the things that some of our shortcomings, or just not being as transparent. What do you do when you're in those situations? How do you bring out that honesty? How do we get the real Ryan each time?
Yeah, and that's really kind of my mindset going in, is that when you're networking, yeah, there's a wall up. Everyone's kind of trying to play it tight to the vest. You don't want to seem like you're, not cool or whatever. Um, but in reality, the whole thing in networking is trust. It's doing business
Sure.
and combining things with people you like, you trust. And
Hmm.
if you're not real and you're not honest with people, you can see it for one. You can tell. I
Hmm.
mean, we all sell for a living. I sell for a living. You can kind of read through the BS and be like, yeah, something's up here. And I get it. You're not just going to be like an open book immediately, obviously. But, you can tell real authentic people versus people that are fake, or people that are hiding it, or people that are only out for themselves. And those are the type of people you kind of get a reputation and try to avoid. Um, and so for me, I try to be as open and transparent as I can. I don't want to be blunt or mean about it or anything like that. I try to be open, transparent, and people know who I am and what I'm all about. And it's been helpful so far.
Yeah, no, that reputation's key. Once you have your reputation, you can't get rid of it. Well, that's not true. You can lose it. It's hard to get it back, though. It's
That's
really,
true.
really
Very
hard.
true. Yeah.
So for the listeners and the viewers, if you don't know Ryan or I, this is going to be a golf themed podcast. Now, some of the other ones have been golf adjacent, but this one is going to be golf themed because if it's a Monday through Sunday, Ryan and I likely would have golfed at least one time during that week, maybe together. You never know.
That's true.
So Ryan, yeah. One of the questions I've been asking people, you know this, in the golf world, par for the course, it's adequate. We're okay with par, but we could do better. Birdies, they're great. We like them. That's a bit more success. However, eagles, like the name of the podcast, eagles are exceptional. Tell us about your business. What does exceptional look like with Extensis HR?
Yeah, so since HR, we're a PEO, or it stands for Professional Employee Organization. And really what that is, it's a vehicle or way for small, mid-sized companies, companies that have 5, 10 employees, all the way up to a couple hundred employees, to basically bundle all the things that they do from an HR standpoint. So payroll, onboarding, the technology that goes with that. But most importantly, for these small businesses, it's health benefits, and really joining a pool of people and companies to allow small, mid-sized businesses to have health benefits that are comparable to the big companies like Bank of America, Wells, Duke, those that are in Charlotte, but throughout the country is, so from that aspect, it gives them the ability to have, one, lower cost of benefits, and two, better benefit plans to allow them to be more competitive in the employment world. and take care of their people, but also at the same time, from an HR standpoint, allows you to have HR support and things from a compliance standpoint, and from a legal standpoint when they're hiring people. Um, Nobody got into business because they wanted to hire people, unless you're a recruiter or staffer. But everybody got into business
Yeah.
because they had a product, an idea, a service, something they could monetize, and they did it
Yeah.
so well that then they turned around and had to hire people to continue that growth. And so now
Hmm.
it's like, oh, I have to hire people. What do I do? How do I do it? What does that entail? And then you start to open up this Pandora's box of, oh my gosh, what do I need? Do I need, tax IDs because they're in different states? Do I need laws, regulations, all these things that you don't think about? And then now you have to know about, but also at the same time, if you don't, then you have to call you to get some legal advice. And so that's a
Yeah.
lot of what we do is just helping small businesses on the HR side understand the compliance, the laws, the regulations, and then also providing avenues for them to take care of their people through health benefits and things like that from a HR standpoint.
Yeah, love that. Thanks for that explanation. So, people who are just starting out obviously are probably not your likely candidate. And then Coca-Cola, I'm going to imagine they're probably not a candidate as well. Tell us, who is that more ideal client for you? Who are
So
you
right
looking
in the
out for?
middle of both that. No, we love startups. Startups are so much fun. I really enjoy companies that are growing and you can see their path. And so for us, we'll work with companies that have three, four, five people. Our ideal sweet spot is at 10 and up, and up being 50, 100, whatever. And there's a misconception in the PEO world that we don't like HR people because we're outsourced HR. But really, we love having HR, either an HR director or an HR team, things like that we can essentially offload a lot of the admin stuff that they're doing, bundle it all together so they don't have one platform to work for, and provide tools like learning management and performance management and all those things that they want to do from a people standpoint. Put them all in one platform. And so from there, we love the small 10, 5-person companies that have like an office manager or a spouse or somebody doing the HR part. We can offload a lot of that for them. Or if they have the HR team, we can also provide the tools and things like that to offload a lot of the work they're doing so they can focus on the most important thing, and that's the people. So
Okay.
anywhere
So,
from,
you guys,
yeah,
yeah.
10 employees all the way up to, a couple hundred.
Okay, cool. So, you guys can customize that. Now, when it comes to the types of work that you're performing for these clients, you touched on the laws a little bit, but are you guys helping with employment agreements? I'm sure you guys are offering 401k services. Are you guys advising on hiring? Let's go a little granular, just so
Yeah.
we can all
So we
understand.
we do offer recruiting as part of what we do. So we can help with job descriptions, wage surveys, um, things like interview prep. Like we're not going to interview people for you. You're in charge of the hiring, firing, all that fun stuff. So
Okay.
we'll find the candidates, we'll vet them, we'll do all the things that you need, and then from there, employment agreements. We do recommend you, Sean, from that aspect, just to
Of
make sure
course.
things are buttoned up. I mean, from a tax ID, from a compliance standpoint, from a hiring standpoint, we're really understand the laws and regulations throughout the country, from that aspect. But the employment agreements and things of that nature, you know, I do recommend go to you, make sure everything's buttoned up from that side.
Yeah, and I wasn't calling you guys out. I was just
No,
curious
that's
because there's
the beauty of the partnership right there is that
yeah,
there
yeah.
are ways that it's like, hey, we'll handle everything else, but go find somebody like Sean to help out with these agreements to make sure everything's buttoned up and you're taken care of.
Solid, solid. So that's the business side. I'm gonna assume. Where'd you play today? Did you
Played
golf?
Waterford this morning with some
Okay.
two people I recently met a couple weeks ago, and that's I mean we talk about golf. We play golf quite a bit, and Charlotte,
Yeah.
since it's such a golf town, there are courses everywhere. We've
Yep.
had two big tournaments here in North Carolina this year,
Yeah.
and it's the thing to do. It's a great way to meet people, and people are like, why do you play golf so much? We talked about at the very beginning that authentic self. You can meet somebody over
Mm-hmm.
coffee, you can meet them for lunch, you can meet them at a networking event, and you get to know their business side, their networking, the walls up. But you get somebody in a golf course and you can really kind of get to know them as people. You get to know where they came from, their background, their demeanor. Are they throwing clubs? Are they yelling? Are they, people you enjoy spending time with? And if you can spend, even if it's 9 holes, 2 hours or a full 18, 3.5, 4 hours with somebody, and you enjoy them, spending that time, then you're going to trust them. You're going to do business with them, and you're going to, look out to help them out. But also at the same time, you're building relationships and friendships, um, which is also vital throughout the community.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. You and I have done it. We've walked into a networking event that we probably didn't want to be at. Maybe it's at 6 or 7 o'clock at night, which we keep scheduling these at 6 or 7. It is what it is. You
Yep.
just want to go home, and you're trying to make conversation. You're trying to meet people for the first time. When it comes to networking, I'm outgoing like you are, but my battery needs to be recharged. There are times when I just don't want to be out, but got to do it for the business. When you're golfing, however, you're completely right. You're learning about people. You're talking, we'll play 18 holes, 4 hours. We're talking for 4 hours. We're getting to know each other. And the guards are down. We're trying to focus on a game. We're sharing a common experience. And yeah, and I tell people, even if you're not good at golf, I don't really care. I'm happy to be out there. That's I'm happy to be away from my desk. I'm happy to be out there. If you're shanking it in the woods, yes, I will tell you I sympathize with you, but it's not going to keep me from enjoying myself. So yeah,
Yeah, I always tell people, I'm like, as long as you play fast, you know when to pick up, but all is well. Like it doesn't matter if you're, no one's good at golf. And if we were, we would be doing something else with our profession. But if
for
it's,
sure.
you can keep the round moving, you can pick up when you need to, and even if you hit it in the woods, you can drop one, pick it up, and that's fine. Nobody's obviously perfect at golf. But
Yep,
it's just a great way to get out there. And if you don't play golf, that's fine too. There's other avenues. We play pickleball and we do other stuff, but
that's
golf's kind
true.
of
That's a
that
good
thing.
point.
And this year, golf has really just taken off, I think, as far as just the interest level in it and the amount of people I've met that play golf or want to play golf. So it's been a big part of the networking.
Okay. Well, I got 3 questions before we wrap up here, all golf related. And then the last one's going to be, how can we contact you? First question: favorite course in North Carolina? Let's say Charlotte. Favorite course in Charlotte, North Carolina to play on a Friday afternoon?
And that's a tough one. There's so many great courses. I don't really have like a home course. Springfield is really close to my house, and I love Springfield. I love the challenge
Yep.
of it. I'd say that's kind of one of my favorite courses in town, just because it's
Okay.
challenging, uh, but it's one that you can play and kind of move along, and it's going to beat you up, but it's also fun. I mean, Fort Mill's also nice. I've
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of friends that have memberships at Pine Island. We play out there quite a bit. So,
It's cool.
I'll play
It's cool.
Emerald Lake and Matthews, the Divide. I mean, I don't, I'm not picky really when it comes to golf. I'll play just about anywhere. So, um,
Sure.
yeah, it's all good for me. But Springfield's kind of my home. If I don't have something going on, I'll go grab nine over there and just play a quick nine,
Yeah.
and it's fun.
And that's a tough track. Springfield is tough. So that was the second question, was South Carolina. My answer
Sorry, sorry.
probably no. You're good. You're anticipating. I like it. Uh, and you live in South Carolina, so that's just kind of where you gravitate towards. Uh, Rocky River is probably going to be my number one in Charlotte area. I just think it's such a solid track, and the way that they maintain the course, it's just a really fun place to go play. South Carolina, I'll give it to Springfield. I haven't played a ton of golf in South Carolina. I would like to make it out to TKK. Have you played TKK?
I played Tiga. I haven't played this year. I've played it quite a bit. It's a fun course. It's kind of interesting. The front nine doesn't have any hazards. There's no
Hmm.
sand. There's no water. And then you start on the back nine, and there's both, and there's quite a bit of both. So
Wow.
it's an interesting course from that aspect, but it's fun, and you can normally play
Yeah,
it pretty quick.
I'll check that one out. I'll answer this one for us. I think you had the same answer as me. My least favorite course in the Charlotte area was the Ballantine Country Club. That was my number one least favorite course. I'm glad it's gone. I'm normally not glad to see golf courses gone, but
I
I'm glad it's gone.
I didn't particularly like it either. Yeah, it was hard. It
Yeah,
was always it felt unnecessarily hard, and just I never had a good time out there. I don't know why, but it just felt like it
I
was
know why.
always yeah, it was tough. I mean, Yeah, I think if you're gonna go with hardest course in North Carolina, I'd say the Palisades is probably the hardest one that I've
Oh,
played.
yeah, that's a
Um,
good point. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a tie for
that's
first.
that's a tough one. But yeah, the that old yeah, when they took that course down for the hotel, I was just like, not so sad to see it go.
Bye. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. Last golf question. Dream course. Any course on the planet, where would you play?
man, that's tough. I've said, I'd love to play Augusta if I could. You know,
It's a
I got
good
to play
one.
a bucket list course earlier this year. I played Wolf Creek out in
Oh,
Mesquite,
nice.
out in Las
Yeah.
Vegas, and that was just amazing. The scenery, the whole thing. So that was fun. I mean, I love bucket list courses. I love just kind of getting out and playing wherever I can. But Augusta,
For
I think,
sure.
would be kind of one of those that just would top all of it.
Yeah, yeah. I would put Augusta number one. My limit for how much I would pay for golf, I won't say it on the podcast because this is going to go out to the world. But Pebble Beach is well past the limit that
Yeah,
I'd pay for golf.
yeah,
So I'm going to add that to my top three. I'd love for them to have a discount for a Sean day, and then I get to play it one day.
I
But
agree. I'd go with
cool.
you on that. I would rename myself Sean for discounted Sean Day. Um,
Good. Well, hey
yeah.
Ryan, this was amazing. How can people find you? How can they get in
Yeah,
contact?
you can find me through email. It's going to be rapt at extensishr.com. That's extensishr.com. You can give me a call on my cell. I've got the Oklahoma number. It's going to be 918-671-9694. And you can just find me out and about too. I'll normally be on a golf course somewhere, or you can find me at a networking event too. Love to connect.
Everyone knows you. They can just toss your name out there and someone will connect you, right?
If you throw a golf ball, you'll probably find me as well. So that works. But yeah, Sean, thank you so much for having me
Good.
on. It's been a blast.
This is awesome, Ryan. Thanks so
Yeah.
much.